right, here we are, rolling those shoulders up, back, and down. Bend those elbows, squeeze, opening and squeezing. Don't go away. Bend those knees, add that on. Two more. Beautiful. Sweep down, grab your ball. It's right in front of you, and all you're going to do with straight arms is squeeze the ball, squeeze the ball, squeeze the ball, getting some tricep, bicep action. Adding on, add a little squat or a plie, totally up to you. Squeezing up and down. And then if you want, you can squeeze, pop it, lift it, just to get a little coordination going. Don't forget the squeeze as you lift it back up. A few more. And relax. Roll those shoulders up, back, and down. And then we're coming back into that narrow stance. We're going to put that ball between our quads, walk our feet in, feel some action going on in those quads and inner thighs. Hands to your heart, roll up on those tippy toes, find the balance, and slowly lower. As you lower, try not to slam those heels and roll backwards. And you can leave your hands there. You could do a little arm port de bras movement if you want. I know you're thinking this is going on forever. Almost. Last one, hold it up. Check that balance, holding for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Grab that ball. Just put it on one hip. Walk forward with your right foot. Left foot goes straight back. Make sure you're on train tracks, so both feet are pointed straight ahead. Lunge into that right foot. Bend that back knee. Roll up, turn the toes out and the heel in, but shift those hips and lunge it. And bend it. And then turn the toe in and the heel out and lunge. And bend. Walk forward with your left foot, right foot back. Press that heel down, lunge it forward. And bend the back knee. Roll up, turn the toes out, heel in, shift the hips forward. And bend the back knee. And then toe in, heel out, lunge it. And bend it. Beautiful. All right. And then let's just do a little bit of more standing work here. We're going to bring that ball behind our left hamstring, glue those knees together, and bend the right knee a little bit. And then we're just going to keep those knees together because this is going to help work those medial hamstrings. As I'm not sure if you can see my heel, I'm curling. I would turn sideways, but I'll probably fall over. Like that. Yep. So just a little curl. We're also working balance. We're on that single leg. Knees are together to intensify it for 4 more. 3, 2, and squeeze. Hold 4, 3, 2, and 1. Relax that. Bend your right knee. Straighten out that left leg. Hinge to the right. Roll those left toes up. Hamstring stretch. Extend that spine. Know that if you tuck and round, you're kind of avoiding that stretch. And then toes come down. And let's do that on the other side. So right knee grabs the ball, knees are together, hamstring curl, little squeeze, squeeze. And hold this last one. Squeeze, 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 and release. Bend that left knee, right leg is straight. Roll those toes up and down and extend back up. All right, just one more little quick round, get a little bit more quad action here. So the ball is going, actually, let's just do it right between our legs. That'll be fine. All right, weight is on your right leg, left toes glide out, flex to the heel, lift in and squeeze. Reach out, flex and squeeze. Reach, flex, squeeze. Reach, flex, squeeze. You're welcome to add arms. Two more. And then on this last one, we're going to hold it out. We're going to lift that leg, flex through the heel. We're going to come in without putting that foot down and squeeze for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Weight shifts onto the right leg. Left toes reach out, flex through the heel, lift up and squeeze. Reach, flex, squeeze, adding arms if you want. And last one, we're going to reach out, flex, hold, lift up, squeeze for 4, 3, 2, and 1, and relax that. Beautiful. All right. So we're heading down to a seated position on our mat, sitting toward the front of your mat with that ball giving you a little bit of support right at your sacrum. And then just go ahead, bend those knees and lean back, making sure that your head came with you. It's not ahead of you. Shoulders are back and down. And in this back position, we're just going to do a couple shoulder squeezes. Shoulders out of your ears, shoulders squeezing back, 2 more like that. And then this time, squeeze back and open those arms, and then lower the hands, come up just a couple inches. Squeeze back as you hinge back, open the arms, exhale back up. Inhale, exhale, squeeze back. So abs working, shoulder blades gliding down, working too. Last one, we hold it back, we open those arms, squeeze the elbows for 4, 3, abs in, 2, and 1. Tuck and curl, move that ball back a little bit further, so now it's at your low back, giving you some support here. You're going to bring your left knee in, right hand to the side, and then left hand to the side. Extend that right leg. It's going to go side to side, small little movement. But I want you to keep an eye on the right leg and make sure it's not correspondingly doing that. It stays center. And toes stay way up in the air. If it's down here, it's going to put you in extension. We don't want that. 2 more. And bring that down. Shoulders out of your ears. Right knee in. Extend it up, side to side. You can absolutely do this short lever, right? Bent knee. And then really look at that left knee and make sure it's staying stable. So this is sort of what happens when we do leg circles. The other leg, other hip is trying to stay stable. 2 more. And bring that down. That was in lieu of our can. All right, and then we bring that ball so it's between our shoulder blades, fingertips to the edges of the skull, and then see if you can open your chest enough that the elbows rest on the ground. So big, wide stretch across your chest. Nod your head yes. Remember, as we do this negative to neutral, the head is not going to lift and lower like that. It's going to stay same distance from your chest. As you allow the head to drape back over the ball and then come back up just to parallel. We're not coming up and looking at our feet, we're looking at the ceiling. Inhale, up and over. Exhale, close the ribs. Inhale, up and over, wide elbows. Exhale, close the ribs. If you want a longer lever, you're going to crisscross. Cradle your head in between your biceps. Make sure that you're cradling that head so you're not leading with that head ahead of the arms. Option that as you come up, you lift one knee, just a tabletop. And then if you want one more level of challenge, you actually start in a balance with the knees in tabletop, and then you can keep them there, or when you come up, you can extend a leg. So lots of options. Do what makes the most sense for your body, please. Nice. And then relax. You can move that ball out from under you, and let's just stay down for a moment. You can put the ball on your abs, arms out, T position, just take a little break. Let's leave the ball where it is. You don't want it to end up against your legs, so if you're going to need to move it to your ribs for toe touches, that's fine. You're trying to keep the ball exactly where it is. Legs in tabletop, deep breath in, exhale, sink your abs, sink your ribs. Low back stays the same distance from the ground, one leg at a time, moves away. Head nods yes. You can make it a heel flex. It's the thigh that's moving, not just the knee joint. You can make it both legs. It could be both legs with a heel flex. It could be both legs, heels together, toes apart, wider angle. It could be long lever, straight legs. And it can be long lever legs together. And take a break. Let's give those hip flexors a moment. So knees are wide, feet are wider than your mat. Let the right knee drop in, left leg drop open. And rotate that back through center. Let the right leg drop open, left knee drop in. And again, back through center. We're going to bring that ball right above us. Deep breath in. Exhale, float the head, neck, and shoulders off the ground. Inhale, arm overhead. Exhale, back down. If you want to add that hamstring, or excuse me, that tricep press at any point, feel free. And if you want a little variety, when your ball goes overhead, you bounce it on the ground, try to catch it. So again, just a little bit of coordination. And you can, of course, leave your head down the whole time. Just make sure that when the arms go overhead, your ribs stay down. And relax. All right, let's put that ball between our legs lower than your knees. Deep breath in, exhale, flip the head, neck, and shoulders off the ground. Once again, inhale, reach them overhead, but add that leg extension for double leg stretch. Then drop your heels, sweep your arms. Inhale, stretch and reach. Exhale, bend. Reaching on the inhale and bending. Add option to extend and grab that ball. And then when you want to trade it off, I'm not going to bring my knees in. I'm going to go up to them. So knees stay over hips. I don't bring them in. I have to go get the ball. And then, of course, the big challenge would be If you keep those knees tabletop and come all the way up, roll the ball to your ankles, to your knees, stay lifted, extend, come up, roll the ball to your ankles, your knees, and extend. That one's a little more challenging for the low back, and obviously it's a little more curling for your spine, so be aware of that. So do what makes most sense to you. And you may just hold it in your hands or hold it in your legs. And wherever it is, let's just hold here an extension. Head can be up or down, abs in, nice and flat, low back the same distance from the ground. Point the toes forward, 3, 2, 1. Woo, hug that in. Let's take that ball behind the hamstrings and take little rocks side to side. And then once again, the ball is coming maybe between the knees or just below, doesn't matter. Arms out into a T position. Your feet can either be in parallel or turned out, heels together. And we're going side to side. Palms stay facing up. And they're out in that beautiful T position, giving us a chance to press the back of the head into the ground and trying to keep both shoulders on the ground, even when your knees go right. Check that left shoulder. When the knees go left, can you keep the right shoulder down? And of course, you can move the ball up towards your ankles or down towards your ankles and do this long lever, straight legs. A little add-on, you could roll the right leg over the left when you go to the left, and then left leg rolls over the right when you go the other way. And then come back to center. Let's go back to that bent knee position. This time your hands will be a little closer to your body, palms face down for support, but we're going to make sure that our shoulders are still open even though we've rolled them into internal rotation. Legs go to the left, they come up overhead, over to the right, finish the circle. Go to the right, start with an inhale, exhale, up and over to the left. Again, this could be long lever, reversing every time. And if you want full corkscrew, when your legs come overhead, you lift the hips off the ground, go down and around, up and over, down and around. So lots of options there. And once again, we'll take a break. This time soles the feet together, passive inner thigh stretch. And then bring those knees together. We're going to bridge up and place the ball underneath the tailbone. So make sure it's not way up under your low back, right down at the bottom of the glutes, and then legs come tabletop. So the first option is to see if you can hover your hands. If you can't hover your hands, go back and you'll just do toe touches from here, but making sure that the toe doesn't touch because that would put you in extension. If you can hover your hands, then you can try that single leg toe touch or heel flex. You can do double legs, heels, toes apart, heels together if you want. And obviously you can do that long lever. My ball's been drinking. And then bridge up once again. Bring that ball out from under you. Speaking of bridge, walk that ball out so that your heels are behind it and your toes are up towards the top. So it's a little further ahead than usual. Make sure your knees aren't gapping. Squeeze them together, hands by your side. Deep breath in, exhale, lift in your bridge. So you have some options here. You could stay here, just holding. You could hover your hands, and that's going to intensify what's going on in your hamstrings and your glutes. You might put the hands back down and see if you could roll the ball in and out, or lift and lower the hips, or some combination of all three of those options. And then relax. Go ahead and just stretch out, let your ankles rest on the ball. Okay, so we have 2 more rounds because we're going to do each leg, single leg. Therefore, you have 2 more rounds of just what we did if you don't want to do single leg. If you're up for single leg, you're going to put the ball a little again in front of you, heel down, toes face the ceiling, left foot lifts you up. First option, pretty simple. Just hover your hands and that would be a roll in and out. You could do a lift and lower. But the big jump would be to lift that left foot in the air, tabletop or extended. And then you have the same options. You could roll the ball in and out. You could lift and lower your hips, or love this, lift and lower your leg, or lift and lower your leg as well as your hips. And relax. Eesh. I promise we'll stretch the hammy in a minute. Roll the ball underneath your left foot. Again, it's a little ahead of you. Press up. First option, in and out with your hands hovering. Next option, put your hands back down, lift the knee or the leg, and then it might be the leg up and down, it might be the hips up and down, some combination. And relax. Oof. Roll that left leg out on the ground with the ball underneath the ankle. And then grab the back of the right leg and just gently pull it in, very gently. Move it a little to the right and move a little to the left. As you move it to the left, let the right knee come towards your left shoulder. And then move it over to the right, rotate it, and let the leg just rest on the left thigh. It's going to let just absent-mindedly hang out in space, since it's a little higher because of that ball underneath the right leg, left leg. All right, and then let's switch it up. The ball rolls underneath your right ankle. The left knee comes in. Try moving it to the right and left. Bring it across towards that right shoulder, pulling it in, deepening that stretch. Then it pivots to the left and you rotate it a little and let it hang in space. Beautiful. All right, let's roll that ball back, grab it. We're going to put that ball on our ankles, and your first option is simply a side-to-side rock. Next option would be to roll like a ball without kicking your ball. Get a little pause at the top. Make sure you're only rolling to that like lowest rib or so. Couple more. And then as you come up, you have the option. I did have one person bust the ball, so this is your option. If you want to sit up on that ball, that's going to give you the ability to sit nice and tall, little bend in the knees, and hinge forward. And then if you're okay with it, you can straighten out those legs. You can roll more and more forward. That's going to tip you into that pelvic tilt more and more. Long spine for spine stretch. And then sit on top of that ball if you're still okay with it. Arms out into a T, rotate to the front of the room, to this camera. Shoulders drop. And rather than go into the full scissor or full saw, I just want you to reach forward with the front arm, reach back with the back arm, get a little rotation in your spine, but not down here, in a very lifted position. And then notice if you tip to the front, push that back hip down. Inhale back to center, exhale, twist away, reach forward with length, and rotate if you want. Inhale back to center, keep that back hip down. Rotate to the camera, stretch and reach, inhale tall. Exhale away, reach, rotate. And last one, and back to center. All right, this is kind of challenging because we're gonna narrow our base of support so that the big toes are touching. I'm just gonna make it a lot more wobbly. So we're gonna sit tall on the ball, keep the big toes to touch, turn to the front of the room and see if you could do 2 more reaches. Inhale back to center, rotate to the back of the room, making sure your big toes are staying together. Inhale through center to the front. Inhale to the back. Inhale front. Exhale twist. Inhale front. Exhale twist. Keep that going. Just a few more, please. And come on back to center. Roll off that ball. And you're coming over onto your side with the ball. Side plank position. So as always, we get that elbow right underneath the shoulder. Push the shoulder back. Lift up out of it. Engage those lats. Bend those knees. Stack the hips. Option 1, side of the thigh, 10 toes in the air. Option 2, top leg in front, bottom behind. Option 3, stack them. Bring that ball where you can just rest on it for a moment and get in a long straight line. And then from there, press up out of that straight line. And tap the ball. Tap the ball. Now, you can come down, you can keep tapping. We're going to go into a balance on this side plank. Quite a bit of challenge. Bottom left ankle goes on first. Look at all that space I've left for my top leg. So the arch of that foot is going to go on. Help yourself up, straighten out the legs, and then up you go. And then as you're ready, come on down. We're spinning over to the other side. Once again, we want to take care of this side. Shoulder back, press it down, lift up out of it. Knees together, toes up in the air for option 1. Option 2, top leg in front, bottom behind, or stack. Put the ball where you can rest on it, look down, line yourself up better, lift and tap. And bring that down. And then again, balance option if you want to try it. Bottom foot on, lots of space. Top foot on, lift yourself up. Find that straight leg balance. When you're ready, you're coming back over onto your abs. Ball is off the mat and you are on it. Hands on top of the ball just for a moment. Well, not for a moment. While you're here, stretch one leg out, point the toes, stretch it long so you feel the hips slide down the mat and then bring it down. Should literally feel like that leg is longer now. Lift the other leg, stretch it long, bring it down. And you're going to stretch those arms out. Straight arm position, forehead rests on the mat. Press your toes into the ground, lift your knees. Push your pubic bone into the ground, lift your abs. And then press down on the ball and with straight arms, glide the ball to you and away from you. Just a small movement, only shoulders working. 2 more. And then we add on Press down, roll it in, and add a little bit of arch, and then back down. Inhale. Exhale, press into your toes, pubic bone, pull it back. But don't forget, you initiate all of this with that shoulder glide. And relax. We're going to press back all the way back. Let our hips sit back on those heels. And shell stretch. And as you come forward, that ball goes into the center of the mat. And you let your belly button rest on it. Hands are apart, elbows right underneath your shoulders. Thumbs roll up, shoulders up, back, and down. Pull your belly button off that ball. So you may feel a little bit of arch in your upper back, or roundness in your upper back. That's okay for now. Roll onto the tops of the toes if you want. Tuck those toes if you want. And it's only the aura of your body that's tapping, touching that ball. If you're barely touching it and you're on your toes, you could try a small roll forward and roll back. Don't have to add that. And release. Let's move that ball out of the way. Bend your knees nice and wide, windshield wiper side to side. All right, and then we're coming up one more time onto our hands and knees. Just for now, put the ball between your knees. Hands out front. We're going to undulate forward and back for that cow cat. Getting movement through your spine. Beautiful. Find a squared up position. So your tailbone is still long, your shoulders are still out of your ears and squeezed together, but those abs no longer droop. You gently pull them and your ribs in without tucking. And then bring that ball behind your right leg, point your toes, and lift that leg up in the air. So you have a couple options here. You could simply hold this. You could give it a hamstring curl. You could poke a hole in the ceiling. You could hold it here and add your left arm out of your peripheral vision. And you could hold that, or you could lift and lower both of those. Try and keep your head in a beautiful straight alignment. Right shoulder down your spine. And release. Let's move that ball behind your left leg. Find that squared up position. Lift that leg. Option to hamstring curl or poke a hole or hold. Option to add the right arm and hold or lift both. And release. All right, beautiful. We're going to spin back over onto our spine. We're going to stretch out that left leg again. And this time bring the ball behind the right leg. Grab your shin and pull that in. If this is too uncomfortable with the left leg straight, you can bend that knee. And once again, we'll bring that right knee towards your left shoulder and give it a nice tug in and over. Right arm can go to the side or it can assist. Then we're going to bring that right knee over to the right. As it goes to the right, keep your left hip down as much as possible. and then bring that back to center. You're going to use that ball to push your hamstring down towards your ribs and your shin perpendicular to the ground. And then give me a point flex and some circles with your ankle. You can pigeon toe it and duck foot it with the point and the flex. And then see if you can grab those right toes with your right hand. You can move the ball out of the way for a moment. So pressing the knee down and the heel up. And then eventually seeing how much you could straighten that leg. And then as it comes back to center, we'll bring the ball behind it again. This time with the foot flexed, both feet flexed. Press the ball and then bend the elbows, sorry. And press the ball and bend the elbows. And then do both at the same time. And release that. And relax that right leg down. Once again, I'm hoping that you feel like your right leg is longer. And we'll bring that left knee in, hands wrap around the shin, hug it in. And let's bring that across towards our right shoulder and get it nice and close, and we'll pause here. And then bring it over to the left. Making sure that that right hip stays down as much as possible. And then back through center, hug it in. Bring that ball so that you're helping that hamstring get closer. Flex through the left heel, point flex, circle it. Duck footed, pointing, flexing, pigeon toed, pointing, flexing. And then we'll straighten out that leg, flex through the heel, push the ball away, bend the elbows. Push the ball away, bend the elbows. I forgot something, so I'll be back to it. Press and hold, 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 hold. Bend that knee, reach down, grab those toes. And then we try that straight leg. And let go. And maybe now they're even if I did that, do that in a whack-a-mole order. All right, cross that right ankle over your left thigh, press open. Thread your needle if you'd like. Bend the elbows to deepen it. And then option to keep the ball over to the left as you cross your right knee over. And the legs can land on that for a more gentle twist. Or you can move it out of the way if you want that full rotation. Uncross those legs and come back to center. Left ankle crosses the right thigh. You might move the ball to the right. Thread your needle. And then cross that left knee all the way over. Again, you can just rotate enough so the knee rests on the ball. Or you can move it away gradually, deepening that twist. And then stack those knees and come back to center. And then you can either roll to one side, you can roll up, however it makes sense for you to get there. Come back onto your hands and knees, and we'll undulate forward back again through our cat and space cow. And then walk those hands back, tuck the toes, lift those hips, and pedal it out, please. Wide stance. Walk it all the way back with a big bend in your knees. Hold through cat. Inhale through cow. Big deep breath in. Thank you, guys.